Hey y'all, my name is David Torrey. I identify as non binary queer with they, them pronouns, particularly by gender. So I identify as both genders if you all don't know. I want to start my story off by saying I came out of the closet when I was 10 years old. Um, it was rough. I grew up in a Southern Baptist household. So, I was fortunate enough where my family didn't kick me out of the house, but they did far much worse. They sent me to a therapist for conversion therapy. And, that's pretty traumatic for a 10-year-old when really all they really want is understanding and love and acceptance. But yeah, I never got that. So I was in conversion therapy for about 2 or 3 years, Monday through Friday. Um, After school, I always went for an hour to this conversion therapist, and nothing really came out of it. Obviously, still queer as fuck. Um, but yeah, so I ended up, you know, going to this conversion therapist, and eventually I ended up getting in trouble with the law when I was 13 years old. That gave my parents a way to send me to a conversion camp. I went to one in Texas and I went to one in Utah. And they were pretty abusive places. I was emotionally and verbally and physically abused by both the other patients as well as the staff members. And these places weren't particularly for conversion therapy, but because these places, Texas and Utah, are very, very conservative and very, very religious states, the therapists had their own way of saying, oh, well, you're here, but since you're gay, we're going to do this. So, long story short, for 4 years of high school, I was in these two places and away from my family and all that stuff. And that's just trauma in itself. But anyway, moving on, because I only have a little bit of time to record this. Um, when I turned 18, it was liberating. I was able to be myself and not be forced into a therapy that is so stupid and that just doesn't work. And so, very, very liberating. I ended up living in LA for a while, West Hollywood particularly. That was fun. Um, Eventually, I moved here to Utah about 11 years ago. And this whole time, I've been able to be myself. I've been able to uh, just be insanely proud of who I am to the point where I realize that I'm not a man. I realize that I'm a man and a woman. So I get my nails done. I sometimes I wear feminine clothing, sometimes I wear men clothing. So right now I'm kind of doing a mixture because as a bi-gender person, I feel like pants and a tank top, any gender can wear that, right? So I do that, and or sometimes I wear skirts and dresses. Uh, Coming out, being myself, having being resilient and being understood for who I am as a person has been huge for me to the point where I'm so confident in myself that I'm fighting back for others. I go to rallies, I volunteer at the Utah Pride Center. Um, there's a lot of things now that I never would have done when I was 18, but because I have the community, even though it's a small one here in Salt Lake City, I'm able to be myself and I'm able to fly my pride flags and not feel ashamed. Um, I will say about a month ago, I was a victim of a hate crime. I was gay bashed. I was beat up. I now have to walk with a cane because I'm disabled. But that's not stopping me. These people, I'm not going to give them that power. The five guys that attacked me with brass knuckles, I'm not giving them that power because I am proud who I am and no one's going to take away my pride. I am resilient. I am strong. I have done so much good in my life recently, but I'm not going to let these guys take it away from me. I'm 2 years sober now from meth. There's a lot of different things that's happening, and being proud of who I am, allowing myself to love myself, allowing myself to have that self love is something that I'm so glad I had and keep having. And so, yeah, y'all, I am a proud, non binary, bi gender, queer person who identifies with they, them pronouns. And no one, I repeat, no one is going to take that away from me. I'd like to thank the Pride Palace for allowing me to share my story. But yeah, thanks, y'all. Love ya.